Hey everyone, welcome to a new edition of Tism Talk. In this edition, I try to keep these videos super short and to the point because my feedback that I received from my editor as well as some viewers is that it's a nice video, but can you just shut the fuck up and get to the point? And I'm like, well, the whole point of the video is just for me to kind of, go on a rant and talk, right? That's like the whole purpose of this is that I'm chronically online, so I have to kind of vomit out whatever's in my head or what's coming to my head, so I can still be chronically online without having, severe damage to my brain and my psyche. But, so I gotta take in recommendations and try to make sure that the people who are watching this are happy. So today is gonna be a very efforted um, venture of mine where I try to keep this to the point. But today's Tism Talk movie Mumble is about a much smaller, not really mainstream project called The End of Oak Street. So, for a lot of people who don't know what the premise is about, and I will try to keep this spoiler free. So Ewan McGregor and Anne Hathaway decided to basically star in this dinosaur extravaganza, basically, right? And the thing is that it's very hard um, to execute because any movie that is based off of like an animal, right? It typically will get compared to its more much successful predator, a predecessor. So, like, the Meg movies with Jason Statham, where he's literally like punching a shark to death or a megalodon, will always be compared to Jaws. Any dinosaur movie will always be compared to Jurassic Park because those were the most successful commercial predecessors in that category. So this movie, End of Oak Street, wasn't really on my radar, right? It was actually, a friend of mine had basically suggested that he wants to watch this movie, and we try to coordinate to watch this together. So, in short, this movie isn't anything like Jaws. Well, yeah, it's nothing like Jaws. I was maybe thinking about the second Jurassic Park. Jaws? What the fuck? Why am I saying Jaws? It's Jurassic Park. Jesus. Lord, I'm sorry. That was, sorry, brain fart. See, this is why I have to do this. This is why I do this, is so that I don't make mistakes like this, right? I make these mistakes in this video and I won't edit it out because that's what, like, the humor aspect is. But no, this End of Oak Street is a, action thriller, and it's nothing like the predecessor, the most successful predecessor, Jurassic Park, in any sense. The movie, you know, it starts off very, like it's got a very steady pace. It's not, it doesn't slow down. It kind of keeps you on your toes a little bit. There aren't really jump scares in this movie, not a whole lot, because it's like I said, it's not really a horror, it's an action thriller. So you're kind of, just really like trying to understand the story. Overall, it's a solid point. It's like a solid movie. I'm not saying like as a consumer, as like just, if you're someone who is like it's too hot outside, right? It's too hot outside for me to do anything. I just want to stay indoors and I want to enjoy the AC because of wars and bombings and global warming and whatever, right? You want to just want to enjoy like your air conditioned first world privilege and you want to go to the movies and you're like, I don't, I'm not a critic, I'm not some science fiction nerd, I'm not like some, you know, like film student that's trying to learn or how to direct or act or narrate or screenwrite or whatever. You just want to go as a consumer. This is a really good movie for the consumer, right? If you're a science fiction nerd, like dinosaur guy, I think you'll like this a lot. It's not as detailed as Jurassic Park. Like, there's no, like this is the science behind it, and this is this. Like, there's a science fiction aspect. I would say it's like less than 5% of the movie, but they don't really kind of elaborate on it, right? A little spoiler alert, they don't elaborate on the science fiction element. So yeah, as a consumer, I think this movie is a really good as is really really good. Like it's not I wouldn't say it's a must watch, but if you do watch it, it's not going to be bad. Um, if you are a critic, uh, I don't fucking know. I'm not a critic. I'm just doing these reviews for the fun of it. I went to watch a movie and I was like, you know what? Everyone shares their bullshit opinion online, right? Or they spread, hate news or bad news or depressing news or news about corruption or warfare or famine or global warming, bombs, war crimes, crimes against humanity, corruption, again, fraud, defamation, CSAM, sexual predators, like all this negative crap and negative energy, right? I'm like, let me just, let me contribute. Let me contribute if it's not negative, it's not negative, but it's also not positive. So I'm just gonna do whatever, whatever comes to my mind. So this is, yeah, it's a really good movie. Um, I think, let me see. So, hold on. Oh, sorry. This is why. Here we go. All right. So, this is the official review. All right. As a foundation, as from start to end, all of, this movie is whole wheat bread. It's solid. It's dependable. There isn't, it's not gonna be moldy anytime soon. It's firm. It has a lot of unique aspects to it. There is like there's one moment in the movie where you can kind of tell that they were experimenting with a camera angle. And I will say this, it was unique in the sense because it was so new and so weird. You're like, I 100% think that they tested this type of camera angle out on this movie to see for what the reaction is. But overall, like the movie's firm, right? And there is like a little bit of like a holy fuck, like did they really just do this? And then, but towards the end, there's like, like every movie must have a happy ending. So, or every like most movies need to have a happy ending. Not every movie has a happy ending, but they deliver on that. So, but from start to end, it's firm, right? You got the the character development is there. You're involved with the characters. You are immersed in the movie and like what the hell is going on? Like it's there. Like it keeps the audience engaged, right? There are moments where you can kind of just be like, can you pick it up? Or not really. But yeah, like actually yeah, there is like a couple of moments I felt like yeah, you could kind of pick it up and just like maybe not necessary, but otherwise you're still engaged. Right? That not it wasn't like Minions and Monsters where I was kind of like doom scrolling on my phone while the movie's going on because the whole premise was boring. Um, Not to say that, Minions and Monsters wasn't bad, it was just not my thing. Like I went because the last Minion movies was really good and I really liked the first one, so I was thinking this one is going to be unique and interesting. Eh, it was cool to see all the cameos and like how they not the cameos and how they took like the 20s and the 30s like and the early cinema history and just kind of put minions over it. That was the coolest thing. Why am I talking about this? But going back to the end of Oak Street, yeah, it's foundation, good whole wheat bread. As far as the cheese, it's bold. There's action. There obviously, it's an original, you could say screenplay and idea. So it's very bold. It's very trying because of what they're doing with the camera angles and the narrative as well as the kind of like the holy fuck moment. It is very uh it's very sharp in that sense. Like you will kind of it's not like regular cheddar cheese. It's like it's very sharp, like I think like the Virginian sharp cheese where you can really kind of feel it. And toast is yeah, it's a point toast. It's executed well. They're, like obviously, like, it's Anne Hathaway and Ewan McGregor, so you're gonna get really good acting, camera work. You know, obviously it's no IMAX Odyssey, but it's also not um amateur, so that's a really good plus point. Story, great. They kind of, I don't know. I think they kind of like, and bits and part towards the ending, it was a little bit choppy, and but they did land it. I think it was a smooth landing. Now, I am gonna maybe do a spoiler review thing, but I'm gonna try to keep this spoiler free. But uh, yeah, it's a good movie. You're not gonna have a bad time. I don't think you're gonna have a terrible experience. And if you do, you're just a terrible person. If you go to this movie and you come out like, man, this was a piece of shit movie. Like, I hated everything from start to end. It was garbage. Well, first of all, if you stay till the end, that means it wasn't really garbage because you have the free will to walk out of the movie, right? But you didn't. You stayed till the end. So that means that there's some part of it that you enjoyed. And if you're really hating on it, you're trying to hate on it. That's just me. Um, you can call it what it is. But other than that, yeah, solid movie. If you're trying to catch something with the family after the first week of school to celebrate, school being open, it's not that bad. Now it depends, right? If your kids are like middle schoolers, high schoolers, you could watch that. But if you're, just starting school, Paw Patrol movie. But I'm not gonna fucking watch that. So yeah, End of Oak Street. That's the review. It's a solid good sandwich. Um, I think if you're and it ha- and it's a type of sandwich that will appeal, I think, 80 to 90% of the people who are movie watchers and movie enjoyers. So with that, I will see you next time, whenever that may be. I haven't really been doing a lot of Tism talks about stuff online. Well, okay, so um, all right, this is going to be a little bit of an overshare. See, this isn't how I earn my living, right? I just do this for creativity and fun. And my tisms now have been very, let's just say, political. And because I'm employed and I don't want to get fired, I can't be political online, I think. I don't know. I don't want to risk it. Dude, like some of the shit that's been going on in my head right now with my feed and all the slop that I've been seeing, it's like it's so if you share any opinion. First of all, you can't be unopinionated, right? When it comes to this. There's really like the stuff that's happening right now that I'm seeing and I'm being informed on. There like my pragmatic view is very opinionated. And if I was to share it, it would become you could obviously just kind of tell like what side of the aisle I'm leaning. And that could be like a violation and a write up and whatever. So TISM talks are gonna be on a hold because I don't want to get fired and I don't want to lose everything and blah 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 blah. But yeah, I might try something. I will try. I like Tism Talks. Tism Talks, random rants, Tism Talks, movie mumble, Tism Talks, regular, right? I do kind of enjoy it, right? This isn't I'm not trying to be a podcast or anything like that. It's just this is more of like a talk show. Like, hey dude, like fucking Hassan Piker does this shit and what's the other dude? Like everyone does this shit, right? They all have like some sort of like a YouTube talk show or a Twitch talk show. I'm just trying to do something, a little bit more fun, a little bit more creative. But yeah, I'll try to bring Tism talks and random rants and everything back. It'll be some time. Hopefully not too much, but we'll see. Thanks for watching. Bye.